Hey guys, it's your girl REDD, and welcome to episode 4 of Carnival Ready with REDD. Yes, let's go. Today's episode, we focus on Juve. Yes, for all the Juve lovers out there. If y'all are wondering, what is she wearing? I just finished my workout, so I was looking kind of disheveled, and I was like, oh, it's the perfect time to talk about Juve. Yes, let's get it. So you're going to Trinidad Carnival 2027, and somebody tells you Juve is just a big paint and mud party. Pause. Pause. There's so much more to it than that. Let's get into it. Before we get into what you need for Juve, let's talk briefly about what Juve actually is, because it's so much more than just paint, mud, and partying. The word Juve means daybreak or the opening of the day, and its traditions are deeply connected to Trinidad's history, including slavery, emancipation, and resistance. Enslaved Africans kept elements of their culture alive through music, dance, and other forms of expression. After emancipation, Carnival became an even greater space for freedom and creativity, where people could use humor, costumes, and exaggeration to poke fun at society and people in power. So when we celebrate Juve, yes, we're dancing, getting dirty, and having a good time, but it's important to remember that there's a history, culture, and meaning behind what we're participating in. Now that we know a little bit more about Juve and where it comes from, let's talk about how you get Juve ready. So Juve has modernized, and it's come a long way from back in the days, but there's still a lot of traditional elements that remains in Juve. There's still paint, there's still mud, there's still powder, there's some bands that do chocolate, there's some bands that do, you name it, and they do it. It's Juve. You don't have to be like, prim and proper. Juve, you be shoveled, you do whatever, whenever, because it's Juve. So, again, I'm in workout clothes, a little disheveled looking, and I was like, you know what? It's the perfect time to talk about Juve. Yeah. So, what to bring for Juve? How to dress, what to bring. What you don't want to do is come from your fete and go straight to Juve if you want to keep those clothes. If you want to keep those clothes, because they will get dirty. Yeah. It's not dirty. Dirty is alright, you're a little dirty, but dirty is a different level. So whatever you don't care about that you could just throw out after, that's what you wear for Juve. That is what you wear. Not your nice brand name shoes. Like I have my Juve boots because I prefer to play in boots. So I have my Juve boots that I will wear every Juve. And that's just how it is. Don't wear new stuff to Juve. If you want to, keep it after Juve. And now let's talk Juve etiquette. You're like, wait, what? There's Juve etiquette? Yes, there is Juve etiquette. Please respect people's boundaries. Be very mindful of throwing substances in people's eyes or in their face. Because a lot of times, if mud gets in your face or paint gets in your eyes, it's gonna burn. So don't do it. If you don't want somebody to do it to you, don't do it to somebody else. Even if you don't mind people doing it to you, don't do it to somebody else unless they give you the okay to throw stuff in their face. But I can't really see that going down good for anybody. I'm just saying, respect people's boundaries. Be very aware of where your band is, because there's Juve bands. So be aware of where your band is. Stay with your band. Stay with your crew. And if you guys get separated, have a muster point. Now, a muster point is a meeting point where you guys know, God forbid, if something happens, y'all get separated because y'all having so much fun. Whether you meet in the front of the band, the back of the band, have a muster point, have a meetup point that you guys, if you get separated, you know where to go back to. Vex money. You're wondering, what is vex money? Well, vex money is basically have some money on you just in case. You never know what can happen, what can pop up, what can transpire. Have some money on you. Now, for Juve, it could be a little bit more difficult because it's paint, it's powder, it's water, it's mud, it's everything on your person. So what I usually do is, what you could do is you take a little bit of money, you put it into a Ziploc bag and wrap up that little Ziploc bag, put it in your socks inside of your shoe. That it doesn't mess with you. You can wrap it in paper towel and you usually don't feel it. Put it in your shoe or whatever bag you have on you. Let it be a crossbody, not something that can easily fall and get lost. Protect your electronics. Put your phones in those waterproof cases and seal them. You can still record with it inside that case, but you would want to protect your electronics because you don't want after Juve is finished, you got to go and buy a new phone. Phones are expensive. Don't do it. Protect your electronics. And remember, have fun. Have fun. It's not just about being out there and taking pictures. Have fun and actually immerse yourself in the Juve experience. Another important topic to touch on is after Juve. Some people like to stay until the end, but remember, Juve happens the wee hours of Carnival Monday. Carnival Monday, you still got to be on the road with your band. So if you want to leave a little bit early so you could possibly catch an hour or two, a nap, a quick nap, or you're like, okay, you know what, we got to still shower and do all of that to go out on the road for Carnival Monday, you've got to make those plans in advance. My advice would be to get a designated driver. So the driver knows, okay, I'm going to pick you guys up because you guys would have already discussed this. And he's like, all right, I'm going to pick you guys up at 9. And he's going to have all his seats covered because you're going to be dirty and you don't want to mess up the driver's car. So he's going to have all his seats covered. And possibly what you could do beforehand too is you could probably have like a towel, a disposable towel or old towel that you are able to wrap yourself with, depending on how dirty you get. Now, some bands actually, with the water and stuff that's coming off a band, you could kind of give yourself a quick wash with, with that water that's coming out from there, and you're not going to be as dirty. But for the bands that do like oil and that mud and that, make arrangements to try to get kind of clean and get back to your hotels, your Airbnbs, your whatevers, your houses, your whatever, because now you got to get ready to go on the road for Carnival Monday. Luckily, we do not have to be on the road super early Carnival Monday morning because Juve is like 2:30 o'clock in the morning. So I believe, don't quote me on this, but definitely verify with your specific band. We don't have to be on the road until like 11-ish, 12-ish, around that time. I would say like 11-ish. So check with your respective bands as to what time you guys are meeting up. And with that said, guys, thank you for watching. This was episode 4 of Carnival Ready with your girl Red. I cannot wait for episode 5, and I will see you next time. Bye.